In the last chapter or in the last section of this chapter, I had explained exactly what modules, packages, or libraries are. Now, I also talked about some inbuilt modules that come with Python. Now, in a lot of cases, you might want to make use of a module or a library which Python does not have installed by default. Now, what we can do is we can actually make use of the Python package index, or short for PyP. Now, this is a place where people go to upload the packages that they have built. So let's say, for example, I wake up one random morning and then I decide to, let's say I wake up one random morning and I decide to make my own package, right? I decide to make my own package and I want to publish it to the world so that other people can make use of it. I can actually create this package. And once I create this package, I can upload this to a platform called PyP, which is short for Python Package Index. Now, as you can see, it says find, install, and publish Python packages with Python package index. That's the short. That's the short. That's the full meaning of PyP, Python package index. So it's basically a place where people can come upload the libraries that they have created, and other people can actually download it. And I will be teaching you how to actually download and install these packages that other people have made use of. So, for example, you can see there are 684,555 projects, and there have been over 7 million releases, 15 million files, and 963,000 users. So this is a platform that is actively being managed every single day, and new packages are being uploaded every single day to the platform. So I'm just going to show you exactly how to install a package. So the first one that I'm going to show you is request. Now, the request package is a package that actually helps us make requests to an API. Now, you might not fully understand what an API is, but we can just think of it as, it's an API is short for application programming interface, and it's a way that enables two computers talk to each other. Now, this is an example library that we use to interact with APIs, and it is called requests. So you can see it says Python HTTP for humans. Now, if you ever want to install a library, all you have to do is just copy it right here. Run the command pip install request. Now, pip, as you see, is actually the package installer for Python. So it is inbuilt into Python. So the moment you install something, the moment you install a library, you have to make use of pip. Now, there are other methods that you can use, but pip is the most popular method. So all you have to do is just run pip install and then the package or library name. So I'm just going to copy this right now. I'll go back to my terminal and paste it in there. Now you have to make sure that you are connected to the internet. If not, it won't work. Because what this is actually doing is it is downloading all the source code for this specific library called request. It is going to download all the source code from the internet and put them on your computer. So once you press enter, it's just going to go to the internet and then download all of those details, or sorry, download the package from PyP, which is right here. So what you can also do is you can also take notes that there is documentation that is usually added for that specific library. So here it says requests allow you to send, HTTP requests extremely easy. So all we have to do is just download this library using pip, and it's just going to basically help us install it. So now I am seeing this message saying requirements already satisfied because I actually already have this library installed in our computer. So I just wanted to show you an example of how you would want to install a library. I am going to show you an example of a package or library that we can actually make use of right now to test. So this library is called readtime, and it's a library that somebody else has written. And it says it calculates the time some text takes the average human to read based on medium read time formula. So let's say, for example, you are building a blog application. Usually, when you look at some blog applications, it would usually show the amount of time it would take to read the entire blog body. Now, you can actually make use of this library to estimate the amount of time it would require. Now, all of this has been written by somebody else, and it's actually even very nice that we don't have to always, it's nice that we don't have to write all of this from scratch. So what we're going to do is head to the terminal, clear the screen, and run the command pip install readtime. Now, this command came from here because we had copied it from here saying pip install readtime, and readtime is the name of the package. Now, I also want you to note that each of these packages have different versions. So each version represents an update that was made. So it is important that you keep track with, it's important that you keep track of the exact version that you're using. The last time this was, it says this is the latest version and it was released July 22, 2023. So that was 2 years ago, 2 years and some months ago. So that is exactly how, to keep track of libraries. Now, as you can see, it is currently installing this for me. So I will just wait for the installation to complete. And so right now the installation is done. So what we are going to do is we are going to follow the documentation, that is this guide that has been written for us to actually be able to make use of it. So you can see it shows us the algorithm. It says Medium's Help Center says, and there's just some specific text. But what we are bothered about, or what we are actually interested in, is actually how to make use of it. So it says usage, import read time and pass it some text, HTML or Markdown to get back the time it takes to read. So I will just copy this. I'm just going to import it by saying import read time. So I will go to the top and paste this right here. So when I say import read time, Python is just going to automatically know that we have this library installed because we had already installed it earlier. But if you don't have a specific library or package installed, then it's going to give you an error because it does not recognize that that package is installed. Now, the next thing is we're just going to copy this and I will explain exactly what is happening. I'm actually familiar with this library because I have used it multiple times, but let's just copy it and paste this right here. So what we are simply saying here is we have results equals to request dot of text. Now this of text is a specific method which is coming from this read time library. And if I click into it, you see that it is this specific method that says get the read time of some text. And it just basically helps us to, you know, it basically helps us to determine the amount of time it will take to read this specific text. So it says read time dot of text, and we have to pass in the actual text that we want to see. So what we can just do is we can print results dot seconds. So what this is going to do is it's just going to return to us the exact number of seconds that are required to read this specific text. So once I run this program right now, let's see what it gives us. You can see that at the end, it gives us 2 because it's just basically saying all it takes is 2 seconds to actually read this, the shortest block in the world. So let's say, for example, I decide to add a lot of gibberish into this and I save it. Now, once I run this program again, it should actually give us more than 2 seconds because we have added more text. So let me run this. And we see that the output is 3 because it has already determined that the amount of time required to read this is 3 seconds. So this is exactly how you can make use of external libraries that other people have built. Now, imagine you're trying to work on a project and you are trying to think of some specific feature which you don't want to necessarily write on your own. All you have to do is just literally Google it and it is available to you. There is even a speech recognition library that has been written by someone else. So if you want your program to be able to recognize speech, that is when you speak to your program, it's able to recognize everything you are saying. There's actually a library for that. So I can actually just go to the top and search speech recognition. And once I press enter, it's going to search through all the libraries which are called speech. It's going to search through all the libraries for speech recognition. And I can see this one, it is the top one. So when I click into it, you can see it shows me exactly how to make use of this library. So there's a bunch of ways that you can, there's a bunch of libraries that you can use. All you have to do is just search up whatever functionality you are trying to build. So if you're trying to build something that you don't want to necessarily write everything for, like if you want, like for example, let's say you're trying to build an application that is able to recognize speech from a user, all you have to do is just make use of this library and to be capable of capturing everything that the user has said.